What's good, G-Light? It's your boy, MC Shadow, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? It's absolutely free. It don't cost nothing. Come on, man. All you have to do is tap on it. That's it. You know? Help me get into the algorithm. Now, don't forget to check out my second channel, Man in Society, M.O.D, where we talk about stuff outside of the streets. Now, I was talking to one of my subscribers, right? A good individual, he's, comments on my videos, he's a good dude. So shout out to the homie Vini from New Hampshire. Concord, New Hampshire, right? But he had told me, he watches No Jumper, right? He's not a gang member or nothing like that, right? But he's interested in stuff like that, right? And he was talking about if No Jumper really is the channel for of the streets, right? Like if these individuals are really the voice of the streets, right? Like they claim to be, right? Like Poetic Flacco went and said that, he speaks for the streets, which is strange because he's not even from the streets. Shit, he's not even from California. Let alone the streets of Los Angeles, right? Or anywhere near, California, right? The individual is from, God knows where the hell he's from, right? Denmark or some shit like that, right? I don't know. For him to say that comment was very strange, right? And like I said, bro, just because maybe they had talked to some few street individuals here and there, they think that all of a sudden that they got juice or something like that, right? Like they got rank, right? When nobody, a lot of individuals don't respect No Jumper. A lot of individuals don't fuck with No Jumper, right? Adam's a weirdo, right? Now people say, well, there's no black and white. There's no, how do you know this? You're going based off of speculation. No, I'm not going based off of speculation. I'm going based off of his own words that came out of him, Adam. This is not something that people say that he's accused of. This is shit that came out of the individual's mouth, in his older videos and his old, social media accounts, his posts that he was posting, the stories he was sharing. They're his accounts, they're him. He admitted it, that it was him, that he was young, dumb, and drunk and on drugs. So that excuse for putting behaviors like, little boys and penises and shit like that? I don't know about you guys, but nobody that I know that whenever they're drunk or on anything has ever came out with some shit like that. Like, oh, okay, it's fine, he was just drunk. People don't say shit like that even when they're drunk, bro. So don't give me that. People are looking to make excuses because they want to still be able to watch it without feeling guilty that they're supporting a fucking pedophile. Because these aren't allegations. In fact, the allegations came out, right? Now supporting more about... Now his tweets make more sense, right? He was saying he was young and drunk and everything, but we clearly see, that wasn't the case. Right here, you're sober, right? But now they're allegations. And now it was like, oh, no, it wasn't like that. Too much smoke, bro. And when there's smoke, there's fire, right? And like I said, going based off of his own goddamn tweets himself. Those were not his friends tweeting. That was him. He admitted it, right? So, real motherfuckers ain't fucking with him, right? And, a lot of goofballs right there who aren't street-related either, right? But want to speak on the streets, right? I mean, one guy says he's from San Diego when he's really from Vegas. The other guy, it's not even from the street. A lot of non-related, street-related people, but acting like they street. I don't know, bro. So a whole lot of goofy stuff going on around, right? So they're far from the streets, right? They're far from street-related people, and they're far from being the voices of the streets, right? Because he was saying that, like, damn, if that's not true, then they're making California look bad. They're not making California look bad. They're making themselves look bad, bro. Those individuals don't represent, individuals out here. They represent themselves and themselves only. When they speak for themselves. When they're giving you their opinions, they're their opinions, right? That's all it is. That's all it merely is. There's one thing that, people have to understand is that when you have somebody from the West Coast or from LA or maybe from a hood or something like that, it doesn't reflect on everyone from that side, right? Just because this individual turns out to be like a piece of crap, right? That doesn't mean that that whole side's a piece of crap or they allow that or whatever. You know what I mean? Individuals could only represent themselves and speak for themselves. So just because maybe you have an individual who turns out to be a weirdo, that doesn't mean that that side condones it or supports it or that he represents that side. It's never like that. People only represent themselves when they're out there. Even though they're shouting out their home state, whatever, they're only representing themselves. Nobody else. You know what I mean? So to people to be, banding behind, somebody like that. Because they only represent themselves. So they make themselves look bad, not to, if you want to look at it like that, then, that's not a good way to, on how to, go about things or how to perceive things, right? It's like saying just because you have a white person who was a serial killer, that means that all white people are serial killers. You know what I mean? You just can't go based off of, one individual's actions and try to slap it upon, a whole group. It just makes no sense. Like Donald Trump's, rape and, drug dealer comment that he did about Mexicans. He's ignorant. Right? Because these individuals ain't even from the streets, right? They're far from street individuals. Don't even fuck with these fools. Right? Now, who would I say rightfully represents the streets on YouTube, right? Or on the internet, right? Like, which is the actual channel for the streets, like the voice of the streets. Like, what channel is the voice of the streets? There is no channel that's the voice of the streets. There is no such thing as a channel that's the voice of the streets, bro. Because people could only speak in behalf of themselves and voice their opinions. Nobody could speak for the streets. Nobody has to speak for the streets. The streets speak for themselves, bro. If people really want to know the get down of the streets and how it goes down in the streets or the streets' opinions, then they take their asses to the streets and find out the stuff from the source, from the actual streets. Right? Because that's where street stuff is conducted. It's where it's talked about. It's where it's handled. It's where the business goes down at. You'll find the street activity and street shit in the streets, not the internet. Here you'll find a whole lot of, fakery and fuckery and faking and lying and, a whole lot of people trying to feel like they're important. Bro, you know what I mean? This is the internet. This is not the streets. This is not, it's not a meeting. It's not where gang business gets conducted. It's conducted in the streets. You know what I mean? Because, hey, bro, people may not like it. They may come on here and be like, this fool don't know what he's talking about. Fuck this fool, he's a hater, whatever. I can only spit the facts, bro. Hate it or love it, bro. Take it or leave it. It doesn't change the reality of things, bro. The street shit is in the streets. This is the fucking internet. You know what I mean? People want to conduct that street shit on here because they know that they can't conduct it in the streets, because in the streets they'll get eaten up alive because they got no credibility. Ain't nobody. Because there's nobody that has the right to speak for the streets and come on here and be like, I'm the voice of the streets. Who the fuck are you, bro? Nobody speaks for the streets. The streets don't need a spokesman. Their voice is loud enough, and it's got real individuals out there voicing what it is. They don't need a spokesman. Trust me when I say the streets don't need someone to represent them. They're properly represented already. But you believe whatever you want, right? Don't change what it is. But I'm just saying, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave yours in the comments and shout out. We out.